Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 97 years of realizing dreams for its customers. 97 years of contribution to nation building. 97 years of delivering quality customer service. 97 years of fostering financial freedom. 97 years of profitable banking. 97 years of a socio-economic movement called Karnataka Bank. A warm and cordial welcome to each one of you to the 97th Founders Day celebration of Karnataka Bank. I am Elroy Monis, manager at its Staff Training College, and I will be your MC for today. The date is 18th Feb, the year 1924. Pre-independence era, when late B.R. Vyasaraya Achar, along with a group of 8 other enterprising gentlemen, came up with a courageous idea, an idea to start a bank. A bank that would enable the financial freedom for the people of undivided Dakshina Kannada. At that time, little did they know that the institution they founded with a spirit of love and compassion would grow into a formidable player in the financial services industry, not just serving the people of Dakshina Kannada, but the entire nation. Over the 97 years of its fruitful existence, the bank has stood the test of time, registering steady growth coupled with varied and versatile service offering to suit its customers. Today, Karnataka Bank enjoys an enviable position, being managed by a professional board, seasoned executives with committed employees, and having over 11 million loyal customers and 2.2 lakh shareholders. Today, as we step or move closer to our centenary year in 2024, we pay a heartfelt tribute to our founding fathers and carry forward their vision of building a truly progressive, prosperous, and a well-governed bank. To celebrate this occasion, we have amidst us a luminary from the field of education, Dr. Gururaj Karjagi, Chairman, Academy for Creative Teaching, Bengaluru, who has consented to be our chief guest and will also deliver a very special Founders Day lecture on the topic, the joy of giving. May I now request our beloved Chairman, Shri P. Jayarama Bhatt, MD and CEO, Shri Mahabaleshwara MS, to kindly escort Dr. Gururaj Karjagi onto the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome them with a huge round of applause. Prayer should not be regarded as a duty, but rather a privilege to be enjoyed, a rare delight that is always revealing some new beauty. Edward Bounds said this. So we now have Mr. Prabhat M. to lead us in prayer.
शारदे करुणानिधे सकलानवाम्ब सदा जना शारदे करुणानिधे सकलानवाम्ब सदा जना चारणादिम गीतवैभव पूरिताखिल दीक्तते शारदे करुणानिधे सकलानवाम्ब सदा जना भर्मभूषण भूषिते वररत्नमौळि विराजिते भर्मभूषण भूषिते वररत्नमौळि विराजिते शर्मदायिनि कर्ममोचनि निर्मलं कुरु मानसं शारदे करुणानिधे शकलानवाम्ब सदा जना हस्तसंधृतपुस्तक क्षपति सुधा घटमुद्रिके कस्तवस्तिः वर्णने चतुरो नरककरो तव शारदे करुणानिधे सकलानवाम्ब सदा जना चारणादिमगीतवैभवपूरिताखिल दीक्तते शारदे करुणानिधे सकलानवाम्ब सदा जना सकलानवाम्ब सदा जना सकलानवाम्ब सदा जना.
Thank you, Prabhat, for that very gracious recital. Some people dream of success, while other people get up in the morning and make it happen. Our MD, Sri Mahabaleshwara MS, is one such person. He is a man who believes in possibilities rather than probabilities. A visionary leader who has envisioned to transforming Karnataka Bank and making a digital bank of the future. Through KBL Vikas, he spearheaded the holistic transformation of the bank. At this point, I'm extremely happy to inform all of you that our MD and CEO has been conferred with the prestigious CEO of the Year award in the 19th Global Business Leader of the Year presented by the World Leadership Congress and Awards yesterday at a glittering function in Mumbai. I would now request our beloved MD to give us a glimpse of what the bank has in store for the future, introduce the chief guest, and give a formal welcome. Sir, over to you.
Thanks, Elrai, for that latest update. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿನ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾಪಕರ ದಿನಾಚರಣೆಗೆ ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಹಾರ್ದಿಕ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. कर्नाटका बैंक इस शुभ अवसर पर सभी उपस्थित अतिथियों का हार्दिक स्वागत करता है. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and a hearty welcome to this momentous occasion. Due to the challenges associated with COVID-19, we have decided to conduct this year's function mainly through WebEx online platform besides this limited physical function. So popular is our today's chief guest that we had to virtually restrict the entrance. Our chairman was very specific. Mahabaleshwar, you may not be able to control the crowd. That is why we had thought of issuing the entrance passes also. But nevertheless, we had a very popular guest today, and definitely you are going to enjoy his lecture on this momentous Founders Day today. By expressing our heartfelt pranams to all the founding fathers of our great bank, let us start the Founders Day celebration on this memorable day of 18th February 2021. We have started this tradition of conducting Founders Day celebration on 18th February of every year about 22 years back. That was during 1998. In a very orderly manner to pay tribute to the founding fathers of the bank and remembering their yeoman service to the mankind. We bow our head to these great souls who had laid a strong foundation of this great organization on this very day way back in 1924. They had started this institution to cater to the needs of lower strata of the society, that is small businessmen, farmers, and other needy people, to improve their livelihood and to help them to stand on their own feet. My respectful homage to all the 9 founding directors of the bank whom we call as Navaratnas. They are Sri B.R. Vyasaraya, Sri Nellikai Venkatrao, Sri Pejavar Narayanacharya, Sri Kalmadi Lakshmi Narayan Rao, Sri Pangal Subbarao, Sri Udupi Venkatrao, Sri Sheshabhat Bide, Sri Narikombo Ramarao, Sri Kakkunje Sadashiva Adiga. Apart from the above founding directors, it is also our bounden duty to invoke the blessings of the doyen of the bank, late K. Suryanarayan Adiga, on this day. He steered the bank successfully for over 4 decades as chairman of the bank. The bank had celebrated his birthday centenary on a grand scale in the year 2014, on 15th of November 2014, by launching various programs aimed at benefiting the society at large. On this occasion, let us also salute with great respect and gratitude all the past chairmen of the bank who have put their soul for the all-round development of the bank over the years. They are Sri B.R. Vyasaraya Achar, Sri K. Suryanarayan Adiga, Sri K. N. Basri, Sri P. Raghuram, Sri P. Sundar Rao, Sri H. M. Ram Rao, Sri U. V. Bhatt, Sri M. S. Krishna Bhatt, and Sri Ananta Krishna. And our present chairman, Sri P. Jairam Bhatt, who also had the unique privilege of being the first MD and CEO of our bank. He led the bank from the front for about 8 years as MD and CEO, setting the clear path for future growth of the bank. He is a mentor for many of us, continuously extending his precious guidance. Today, on account of visionary leadership of all these my predecessors, Karnataka Bank has not just remained as a bank, but evolved as a movement of socio-economic empowerment. Karnataka Bank is very unique because it is a time-tested and professionally managed shareholders bank all through the years. We are also regarded as one of the well-governed banks, having a track record of earning profit during all the 97 years of its existence. That is the uniqueness of Karnataka Bank. We are one among the few banks who have set the computerization program amongst the Indian banks by embracing technology by introducing CBS, core banking solution, in 1999-2000 itself. That is about 2 decades back. Now also we are one of the few banks to introduce digital loan sanction facilities, which is a game changer for the entire banking industry, and Karnataka Bank is spearheading that revolution also for the entire banking industry. The bank will continue to embrace the best-in-class digital infrastructure in all areas of operations. COVID-19 pandemic impacted countries across the globe, including our nation, causing significant volatility both in the financial market as well as the socio-economic activities. However, as the impact of the pandemic is now receding, the signs of strong economic rebound are visible. Further, the recent budget announcements by the Government of India has also set the tone for a strong growth. Banking services being essential services, we had kept open our branches even during the COVID-19 pandemic and extended banking services to the needy customers as COVID-19 warriors. My special appreciation to all our staff for the bravery exhibited during these testing times. Let us give them a big round of applause. Further, because of our superior digital capabilities, even during the COVID-19 pandemic crisis, we were able to extend most of the banking transactions through online mode as well as the alternate delivery channels. Our digital transactions touched a high of 88.77% as on 31/12/2020. That itself is a new record for Karnataka Bank. I place on record the good cooperation extended by our dear customers in embracing digital adoption. I am happy to state that the bank was able to exhibit resilience and has shown impressive growth in all the areas of its operations in spite of COVID-19 pandemic during the current financial year. In the early days of COVID-19 pandemic itself, and anticipating the difficulties the days ahead due to the pandemic, the bank has adopted an innovative theme of conserve, consolidate, and emerge stronger, and implemented this COVID-19 prescription of Karnataka Bank on mission mode. I'm happy that our bank has exhibited consistency in its financial performances by earning a net profit of rupees 451.20 crores as against the last year full year profit of 431.78 crores. That means during this 9 months period, we had not only overtaken the last year profit, whatever that we had earned, but exceeded by another 20 crores. That is the resilience of Karnataka Bank. Further, our PCR, the provision coverage ratio, has reached a new high of 80.51%. This is regarded, all the banks who have an PCR of above 75% or 80%, they are regarded as adequately having the provisions for their bad assets also. So this is one of the new high for our Karnataka Bank. Added to that, the capital adequacy ratio, we call it as CRAR, that again stood at an all-time high of 13.83%. CASA ratio touched an all-time high again of 30.07%. Net interest margin, we call it as NIM, that also recorded an all-time high of 3.26%. Our total business turnover stood at a new high of again 1,27 crores, 13.55 crores. As at 31st December 2020, and the customer base also crossed a new high of 11 million mark. I am happy to inform that our bank has been recently conferred with the Karnataka Best Employer Brand Award by the World HRD Congress, Mumbai. Digital technology began reshaping the banking operations, and the disruption started with the new competition from digitally nimble fintech companies which are offering financial solutions, most notably involving digital platforms like artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc. Our bank, being a time-tested entity in its endeavor to continue to be a relevant and significant bank and to emerge as digital bank of the future, has initiated an ambitious transformation project named as KBL Vikas to undertake a holistic transformation 3 years ago. Numerous initiatives were taken under credit, HR, CASA, TPP, IT, customer experience, etc. during the transformation journey to cause product and service enhancements in response to the changing expectations of the clients. Further, there is step-up enhancements in our IT and digital capabilities with the establishment of a digital center of excellence at Bengaluru. Under Digital Journey for Loans, in principle sanction is being granted in a record time of 10 to 30 minutes for many of the loan products. Further, tab banking by the bank by the name of KBL Express SB for opening of savings accounts is also introduced across India in select branches. A wholly owned non-financial subsidiary, KBL Services Limited, is established mainly with an intention to enhance the efficiency across all spheres of banking, and this is set to commence its operations very shortly. It gives me immense pleasure to inform you that as a socially responsible, commercially viable, and professionally managed bank, we have been actively involved in social activities through our CSR activities in various areas of social importance. Bank had sanctioned for the last 3 years 26.45 crores covering 619 projects across India under our CSR initiatives. I am very glad to inform that the bank has put up barricading and gardening on NH66 from KPT Junction to Mahavira Circle in Mangaluru, covering 3.10 kilometers in coordination with National Highway Authority of India at a cost of 1.10 crore under its CSR initiative. In fact, this is the largest CSR project undertaken by Karnataka Bank ever since this CSR activities has started. And I am also very happy to mention here that today morning, under the august presence of our chairman, under the august presence of our MLA, Mr. Vedavyas Kamath, who has already been here today, and also in the august presence of district administration, especially the district, our district commissioner, police commissioner, superintendent of police, and all the other representatives. We had formally inaugurated this particular CSR activity today morning at 11 a.m. Every year, we have been inviting distinguished personalities of national and international repute from different walks of life to deliver Founders Day lecture. This year also, we are very fortunate that a highly respected, internationally renowned motivational speaker and a well-known creative thinker, Dr. Gururaj Karjagi, is kind enough to accept our invitation to address us on this memorable occasion. He has taken all pains to travel to Mangaluru to be personally with us on this joyous moment on our special request. Today, he is going to talk on the subject, joy of giving. I consider myself as very fortunate to be closely associated with Dr. Gururaj Karjagi for the last 2 years through our DVG Balaga of Mangaluru. Dr. Gururaj Karjagi, a doctoral degree holder in chemistry, has published over 22 research papers in international journals. He is a life fellow of the Electrochemical Society of India and has served on the boards of management of a few medical universities and served as a member of the State Resource Group for the implementation of TQM, Total Quality Management, in the colleges of Karnataka. He was the principal, VVS First Grade College for Women, Bangalore, India for initial 16 years. He was the director of the VVS Academic and Administrative College, founder, principal, and academic director of the Jain International Residential School, and the founder director of the International Academy for Creative Teaching. He has served as a member of the syndicates of a few universities and as a member of the Karnataka Knowledge Commission. He is a well-known columnist and has completed 2,250 columns so far. His 15 books entitled Karunalu Babelake are immensely popular and have seen several editions. As of now, he has authored 22 books, both in English and Kannada. He has edited many books, including Shikshana Shilpa, a huge collection of articles on education brought out by the JSS Mahavidyapitha, Mysuru. He has published over 100 articles on all aspects of education in national and international journals. His speeches are very popular in social media channels such as YouTube, Facebook, etc. Through the International Academy for Creative Teaching, of which he is presently the chairman, Dr. Karjagi is instrumental in building over 85 schools of very high quality all over the world. He has designed a complete curriculum in creativity, which is being used in different universities across the globe. He has traveled and lectured extensively both in the East and the West, including international universities like Harvard and Oxford, and has conducted more than 2,000 training programs for educational and corporate organizations. He has been a teacher for 40 years, enjoying every moment of it. Am I right, sir? He always used to say, I am a teacher for 40 years without even a minute of regret. I have slightly changed it. You are enjoying every minute of it. Dr. Karjagi has been a teacher of the teachers. I think definitely you will agree with me. Thinker of the thinkers. Mr. Prabhakar, but definitely you will agree with me. Trainer of the trainers. Most importantly, motivator of the motivators, and a leader of the leaders. Such a wonderful personality is Dr. Karjagi. Above all, he is a great human being and pride of Karnataka. Once even Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam had described him as a saint in suit. Now I think you will be able to understand why Dr. Kalam explained him or described him as a saint in suit. He is also regarded as a spiritual scientist. No doubt, he is all in one. But the fact is, he is one and only, and that is Dr. Gururaj Karjagi for you all. Please join me in extending a very warm welcome to Dr. Karjagi, our admired and most respected guest of the today. Today's function is presided by Sri P. Jairam Bhatt, Chairman of our bank. As I said earlier, he is a great source of inspiration and guiding force to all of us. I am happy to inform that he is also serving as the chairman of Southern India Bankers Training College, Bengaluru, and he is also on the board of Messrs. Universal Sompo General Insurance Company Limited, Mumbai. Sir, I am extending a very warm welcome to you. The bank has a galaxy of professional directors on the board who take utmost interest to steer the bank on the path of sustained growth by ensuring the highest standard of corporate governance. I recognize the august presence of our directors along with their family members, and I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Keshav Desai sir, who has come all the way from Hubballi. Madam Uma Shankar, she has come from Bengaluru. You all know Madam Uma Shankar because she has been in the Reserve Bank of India for over 35 years. And about a year back, she retired from the service of Reserve Bank of India as Executive Director of Reserve Bank of India. After that 1 year cooling period, she has joined our bank as Director of our bank. And we also have Dharmasthala Surendra Kumar here, and he has also come along with his family members. Because of COVID-19 guidelines related restrictions, all our other directors, they have joined this particular program through WebEx media. And we have Mr. Ram Mohan Rao Belle, the former CGM of SBI and the founding MD of SBI General Insurance, who has joined through the WebEx from Bengaluru. Sri Ullal Ravindra Bhatt, investment advisor and columnist, who has joined from Mumbai. Madam Maithili Ramesh, an IT expert and former senior vice president of Wipro and co-founder and CEO of Next Wealth, she has joined from Bengaluru. Sri B.R. Ashok, a distinguished chartered accountant from Chennai, and Justice A.V. Chandrasekhar, former judge, High Court of Karnataka, and former judicial member, Karnataka State Administrative Tribunal, he has joined from Bengaluru. Sri Pradeep Kumar Panja, a former managing director, corporate banking, State Bank of India, he has joined from Bengaluru. I heartily welcome our legal advisor, Sri M.V. Shankar Bhatt. He has already here with us today. And also our statutory auditors, Messrs. Manohar Chaudhary and Associates, represented by its partner, Sri Murali Mohan, and Messrs. Badri Madhusudan and Srinivasan, represented by its partner, Sri T.V. Sudarshan, to this function. Host of luminaries from Mangaluru, Mumbai, Delhi, and other parts of India, fellow bankers, elected representatives, officials of district and city administration, valued customers and well-wishers of our bank from all over the country, and shareholders have also joined us today, either physically or through virtual mode. My hearty welcome to each one of them. I am also very happy to recognize the august presence of Sri Kishore Kumar Kodigiji, the President of Camco, who is present here, Mr. Balasubramaniam MV, Chief General Manager of Union Bank of India, then Mr. Harikrishna Punarur, the former President of Kannada Sahitya Parishad, sir, and Captain Ganesh Karnik, our former MLC, and Mr. Kalladka Prabhakar Bhatt from Sri Rama Vidya Kendra, and Mr. K.C. Nayak, President of Shakti Education Societies, and Dr. Raghuveer Adiga, the famous orthopedic surgeon, and Professor M.B. Puranik, President of Sharda Educational Trust, Mr. Shripati Bhatt from Mudabidri, our own, of course I have mentioned, our own Honorable MLA, Sri Vedavas Kamatji, and former Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Nagaraj Shetty sir, he is sitting there, and Mr. Shikaripura Krishnamurti, a great Sanskrit scholar. So many such important personalities have joined us today. I extend a warm welcome to all my executive colleagues and their family members, regional heads, the former directors of the bank, President and General Secretaries and the office bearers of All India Karnataka Bank Employees Association, Karnataka Bank Officers Organization, retired executives, and to all the retired members of staff of Karnataka Bank. My hearty welcome to each of KBL employees, as they are the goodwill ambassadors and face of the bank. I recognize the august presence of Srimati Shubha Jairam Bhatt, Madam is sitting here, and of course Srimati Annapurna Mahabaleshwar, Madam Srimati I. Umadevi Krishna Bhatt, and all other leading ladies of KBL family. I also recognize the gracious presence of our various channel partners and business associates and extend a warm welcome to their representatives as well. I extend a warm welcome to the members of print and electronic media. My hearty welcome to Sri Ashok Kumar, Station Head of All India Radio, Mangalore, and his team who have arranged to broadcast this program live. My warm welcome to Sri Leelakshabi Karkera and his team of Namakudla TV channel, and Sri Shiva Sharan Shetty and his team of Namma TV channel who are telecasting this program live. Bank is also streaming this event live through WebEx and on its official pages of YouTube and Facebook to reach maximum number of our well-wishers, stakeholders across the globe. As per the latest information that I have, around 1,200 people have already logged in through WebEx, Facebook, YouTube, and also through the video streaming channel live across the globe. We are also having live streaming of this program to all our 857 branches, 14 regional offices, and other offices across India for the benefit of all our 8,400 plus members of the bank. This year we could not schedule any musical program as per the tradition due to COVID-19 pandemic related health guidelines. I am sure the tradition will continue from next year onwards after restoration of the normalcy. To conclude, for us, continuing the tradition of the past along with the digital innovation for our future journey is of central importance. We are committed to carry forward the core values and the founder's vision and aspirations on which the bank is built over the years. Once again, I extend you all a hearty and warm welcome for this memorable Founders Day function of Karnataka Bank. With this, we will be completing 97 years and stepping into 98 years from today onwards. You all know that from during 2023-24, we will be celebrating our centenary year. Lot many preparations, activities have already been lined up to make it a memorable event. I extend well in advance my heartfelt congratulations to all the well-wishers of Karnataka Bank, not only for this 97th Founders Day celebration, but also going forward our centenary celebration. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir, and a warm welcome to you as well. Happiness radiates like the fragrance from a flower and draws all good things towards you. Flowers are a special gift of nature to human beings, and they enchant us with their perfume and beauty. I request our chairman, Shri P. Jairama Bhatt, and MD, Shri Mahabaleshwara MS, to felicitate our chief guest and extend a formal welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, time has come for what we've been eagerly waiting for. Lend your ears for a very captivating topic, joy of giving. The lecture to be delivered by our chief guest, Dr. Gururaj Karjagi. Sir, we are all ears.
At the outset, I offer my pranams to all of you. Sometimes you get blessings unexpected. Sometimes the blessings come in such large measure you don't know how to contain them, how to manage them. The unflinching love and affection the Karnataka Bank has shown me all through the day and days before, I am eternally grateful. In fact, today is a wonderful day. It is the 97th birthday of this magnificent institution. I would say it is the precursor to the centenary celebration, is a curtain raiser for the 100th year program. I can very well imagine if 97 could be so grand, I can as well imagine what would be 100 years. I have an old man near my house. He just completed 101. And when he was celebrating his 100th year, I was so astonished to see his enthusiasm. Normally, when we become older, we say, don't celebrate my birthday, I'm old, why do you do that? But this man was an antithesis. 99th birthday, he started telling his son, how are you celebrating my 100th birthday? Started demanding things. He said, are you getting balloons? Get it painted. Put electric lights all over. And what kind of dress you are going to give me? He started demanding like a 1-year-old child. And everybody was nervous in the beginning. They started enjoying later on. And 100th year was a great celebration. You should have seen him arranging for 3, 4, 5. He said, Pancha Bhaksha Paramana. 5 sweets should be there for the food. He's 100. Huh? And then he saw to it that everyone ate well and celebration was over. I was feeling a little nervous meeting that man. I went and asked him, sir, you are so enthusiastic at 100. Actually, I also want to be 100-year-old. How do you do that? He hammered on my back like a 25-year-old and told me, live happily for 99 years, 100 will happen. Live 99 years happily and 100 years will happen. What a lovely message he gave. I have seen people crying at 25 and here is a man enjoying at 100. Ultimately, I told you the age depends on your happiness quotient. If you are happy at 100. If you are not happy, you are miserable at 25. Then I learned the secret of Karnataka Bank success. At 97, you are so vibrant, youthful, enthusiastic, vibrant. It's because I always say today is a great day. You have to record your appreciation, acknowledge the contribution made by the founding fathers. Today, banking can be talked in different ways. But go back in time, 97 years ago, what prompted them to start a bank at that time? And all these people, great people came together, had a common vision, decided to do something for society. One beautiful thing about life, my friends, is a running race. Life is a relay race. Nobody runs the distance alone. We run the distance for some time and hand over the baton. Somebody else picks up the baton and runs. Life is a relay race. And how beautifully these great people have played the relay race. They started, gave a beautiful, unfailing values to this and said, this is how you should progress. And the successive chairmen continued the same legacy with the same enthusiasm and same purity of thought, which makes Karnataka Bank as the only bank in Karnataka which carries the name of the state. There is no other bank which carries the name of the state. When you say Karnataka Bank, it immediately gets associated with the state name. I am so happy about it. I am also proud to say I am an account holder in Karnataka Bank for a long time. In RT Nagar branch, I am a regular account holder for a long time. My institution also has an account there. More than anything else, the name associates you with a culture, associates with a tradition, with beliefs, and that done so well. I'm sure this will continue the legacy for another few hundred years to come. And Karnataka Bank will make a mark for itself as a bank which never compromised on values and integrity. That will be the greatest certificate that any bank can get from the society. I'm sure it will happen. As Sri Mahabaleshwar sir was introducing me, I was feeling miserable there. You know, I'm a small man, small in stature and achievement. But when he started praising me so much, I was wondering, is he saying about me? I could not help remembering Charlie Chaplin. I'm very fond of this great actor. I'm a great fan of Charlie Chaplin. There is one movie of Charlie Chaplin in which Charlie Chaplin is a beggar. The film is shot so beautifully. Chaplin is a beggar and could not get anything to eat the previous day. What are the belongings of a beggar? A roll-up carpet and a begging bowl. He picks them up, starts his journey very early in the morning at about 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's sufficiently dim light. He is dragging his feet and going. And the picture is shot beautifully. He comes across a road cross, stands in the center of the cross and wonders, which direction shall I go today? Is it left is better or right is better, front or back? Which will give me better alms today? Finally chooses a path, chooses a place and sits there on the footpath. Spreads his carpet and keeps the bowl, hoping for somebody to add some money there. Who would come in the morning? There were a few walking enthusiasts here and there. But Chaplin was in for a surprise. Those people who were going for a jog or morning walk would look at him and offer him good morning, offer pranams and go further. He said, I don't know why they are offering pranams to me. After all, I'm a beggar. Why are they offering pranams to me? At about 7:30, morning he thought, lot of mist is there, they could not identify me. They thought somebody else and wished me. At about 8:30, the light was better. More people were on the road. But every time a person passed that way, he would stop, salute him and go further. This beggar was really surprised. Why are they saluting me? I'm a beggar after all. At about 10 o'clock, the road was full of people. Lot of people are traveling, going by vehicles also. And people going by the vehicles would slow down. People walking would stop, salute him and go further. He could not contain his curiosity. Everybody is saluting me, but nobody is putting money in the bowl. Finally stops a person on the road and asks, why are you saluting me? The man looked up and down twice and said, who is saluting you? Turn back and see, where are you sitting? This man turned back and saw he was sitting in front of a huge idol or statue of Abraham Lincoln. People were saluting Abraham Lincoln and the beggar thought for himself. My position is the same. When he was saying about me, it is not about me. It is the teacherhood, the teachership that I am proud of. As he said, all my entire CV, in fact I can share something very interesting. Justice M.N. Venkatachalaya, who is my chairman of my institution, a great doyen, an outstanding judge, Supreme Court Chief Justice. We were together on a platform, and normally biodatas are written by somebody else in the office. Am I right? It's printed and sent. And people read that. When somebody was introducing Justice M.N. Venkatachalaya, he leaned over to me and said, Dr. Karjagi, do you know? I said, what, sir? This is the 100th time I'm hearing my obituary. Because you hear the same thing number of times. But how beautifully added. Only one sentence is my creation in the biodata. That is, I have been a teacher for last 48 years without a moment's regret. I never had a regret that I became a teacher. Never. I only pray God that there is another birth for me. I should be born as a teacher and nothing else. I enjoyed being it. I enjoyed being a teacher. And today when sir asked me what topic would you like to speak, I said I should talk on this important part called the joy of giving. Joy of giving. There is tremendous joy in receiving things. When somebody gives you something, you feel so happy about it. I got it. But now the fact is that you are more happy when you give it back rather than receive it. You've tried. You try it. A small gift you give multiplies. Imagine you purchase a new car. You are so happy on that day, and you wash the car twice a day. Actually, new car need not be washed. Actually, wash the car only when it is new. And the first scratch on the bonnet is like a burning mark on your heart. Is it not right? You feel so sad. Oh, there is a scratch on the door. And after 3-4 years, another 120 scratches will come. You will already start thinking of disposing of and taking another car. Please remember, the joy of purchasing a car went on decreasing with a period of time. On a period of time, it decreased. The joy that you had on the first day, it was not there. When your son got the first rank in SSLC, you are on cloud 9 along with your son. But over a period of 10 years, 10 more people got first rank, and they don't enjoy so much. Both happiness and joy, sadness also. If somebody dies in the house, you start wondering, how can I live without him? But after 10 years, you forgot it. So therefore, both joys and sorrows, the intensity goes on decreasing as the time passes. But if you are given something to somebody, the joy goes on increasing. Somebody told me recently, are you going to Bijapur? I said, yes, most likely I am going next month. He said, if you are going there, 20 kilometers from there, there is a famous temple. Go to the temple. I said, what is so special about it? You go to the temple and offer puja, and you see a chain in the neck of God. Silver chain I have given. It is my chain. Oh my God. I don't know whether he told me about God or not. He definitely told me about the chain, because he had given it. Anything that you give increases in intensity as the day passes. Anything that you receive decreases in intensity as it passes. I'll tell you something exciting. Once I was teaching the college students, I was teaching the master's degree students. Suddenly, I teach chemistry. That's what I said, my chemistry matches well with the chairman's chemistry. Both of us are master degree holders in chemistry. And probably during the same time, we got our MScs and all that. I was teaching chemistry, suddenly I asked the students, how many of you know your grandfather's name? They were puzzled. How is chemistry connected to grandfather? But nevertheless, the teacher asked a question, they looked around, and all of them raised their hand. I said, good, I'm happy all of you know your grandfather's name. I paused for a moment and then asked, how many of you know your grandfather's name? They looked around and only 3-4 hands went up. I said, good, at least 3-4 people know the grandfather's name. Again paused for a moment and then asked, how many of you know your grandfather's name? Nobody raised their hand. I said, surprising, how is that you don't know your grandfather's name? One girl stood up and answered rudely. Probably there was an element of truth in what she said. Sir, what is so great for him to remember, sir? I said, Amma, I'm not asking my grandfather's name. I'm asking your grandfather's name. You say, what is the point in knowing? Yes, sir. What is so great he has done for me to remember, sir? Looking at her anger, I said, Amma, please sit down. I told the remaining students, I'll go on mentioning some names to you. If you remember the names, raise your hand, otherwise forget about it. No problem. They were curious as to what names I throw up. I just said, you know the name of Rama, Ayodhya Rama? Everybody knew. I said, very good. Krishna, that Krishna, everybody knew. Buddha, yes. Mahavira, yes. Jesus Christ, yes. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, yes. Vivekananda, Shankaracharya, Basavana. I went on asking question. I was so happy. Everybody said, we know. All of them raised their hand. Then I said, I have a serious problem now. I have a very serious problem. I mentioned the so many names from Rama to Basavana. I am not the great grandson of any one of them. I am not the great grandson of any one of them, but remember all their names. But I don't remember my own grandfather's name. Why is that? Think over and tell me. I gave 5 minutes time to my students. There was an extremely brilliant girl in my class, Padmini Priyadarshini, I can't forget her name. She did her MSc and then went to do her IIM from Ahmedabad. Now she runs a big business, very beautiful business. She had tears in her eyes. I asked, what happened, Padmini? Why are you crying? She said, the question that you asked me, sir, is a direction for my life, sir. Is a message for my life. I said, message for life? What is that? When she answered, it became a message for my life. It could be for anybody. She answered so beautifully. I learnt a lesson today, sir, that anyone who lives for himself shall not be remembered by the world, and anyone who lives for others shall not be forgotten. What a lovely message. Beautiful message, she said. Anyone who lives only for himself shall not be remembered by his own great-great-grandson. But anyone who lives for others shall not be forgotten. What was the bank balance of Basavanna? No bank at all at that time. All his deposits are in our hearts. Is it not right? He did not do anything for himself. I just wonder, 12th century, 900 years ago, the kind of Kannada he wrote at that time, I am struggling hard to write today. Kalabeda, kolabeda, husiye nudiyallu beda, vatakshara kuda illalri. 900 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ. The kind of social equality that man thought of 900 years ago, without hoping to get anything for himself. That is the beauty of it. Without hoping to get anything for himself, he is enshrined in the hearts of all of us. This great man, Shankaracharya, my heart goes out to him. I would say one of the greatest teachers the world has ever seen. World has ever seen. Can you believe that in 32 years, most of us do not know how to write applications properly. He wrote the Brahma Sutra. He wrote Upanishad Bhashya for 10 Upanishads. And he was a walking encyclopedia. Knowledge personified, humility personified. How could one get all these fantastic qualities packed together in a short life like that? I had gone to Kashmir to see the temple on top, Ishvara temple there. My car took me up to the height, and I had to climb about 250 steps and go and see. A huge Ishwar Linga is there, and it is said Shankaracharya stayed in that temple for 1 month and did meditation. I went and saw that. I was wondering, how did Shankaracharya go there? With a car taking me to that, I was struggling hard to climb 250 steps. Earlier uncharted forest area, and going all over the world, country 3 times. We talk of emotional integration today. He did that beautifully. Identified 4 spots in 4 corners of India, emotionally connected them. What a lovely work to be done in 32 years, sir. I think he was in a man great hurry. He did everything in a hurry and then said, you carry on. I was just wondering, how could he do that? The amount of knowledge he gave. My friends, I have a request to make. There are so many educational institutions, people are here. I am personally respectful and revere Prabhakar Kalladka sir is here. He is running a great institution. And Shakti institution, just now he showed me. I have a request to all of you. Every institution, whether it's bank or educational institution, has 2 functions, 2 responsibilities. One is to disseminate knowledge. To give information and knowledge is one primary responsibility. All schools do with some degree of success or failure. The second one, most of us have forgotten, creation of knowledge. We have stopped creation of knowledge. We had to stimulate our children to create knowledge. The knowledge that Shankaracharya created, Ramanujacharya created, Madhvacharya created, Basavanna created, Vivekananda created, why are we not able to create? That is the greatest contribution the society is waiting for us to give, and there is a tremendous joy in giving that. So therefore, giving is not an obligation. As I told you, when I want to give to society, it is not an obligation. Sometimes we show off so much for what we give. In fact, I went to North Karnataka, one hilltop, there is a small temple, small little temple. I went inside, I could not see the deity at all clearly, it was dark. The priest said, 1 second sir, I'll put the light on. He went and switched on the tube light. Still I could not see anything. There was one tube light on which it was written with red color, grandson of so and so, son of so and so, has donated this tube light in the name of so and so. Writing only is seen, no light is coming out. And that is not giving. That is not giving. Your giving is called unexpected giving, without anything in return. If you give it, then it becomes meaningful. I always say, Giving is not an obligation. I'll share something beautifully with you today. As he introduced me, I was the principal of a college for a long time. Too long to be a principal, in fact. And my colleagues loved me and I loved them. One day my lecturer came to me and said, "Sir, you should come home, sir." I said, "Yes," but I could not go for 6 months. After the college vacation broke, she came to my house and said, "Sir, this Sunday you are coming to my house." I committed. Sunday morning I went to her house. Husband, wife and 2 children received me so nicely at the gate. She was so happy that the principal has come home. I was sitting on the sofa and I told 2 children, one is about 11-year-old, other is about 7 and 8. Normally the first child is an obedient child in every house. First child is an obedient child, listens to parents and follows the rules. Second one is a rebel. Normally is a rebel. The first one came and mother had tuitioned him properly. He folded, said, "I'm so happy you came, sir. We are so happy, sir." I said, "Thank you, dear." He went away. After 2 minutes, the second fellow came. He is a rebel. You should see his dress, half pant and t-shirt, all hair scattered on his face. He came to me, stood in front of me, looking into my eyes like this continuously for 2-3 minutes. It can embarrass anybody, you know. He was watching me. Said, "Any news?" I asked him. "Are you the principal?" He asked me. I said, "Yes." Then he came closer to me. His mother was shouting, come inside," because she knew that this fellow will create something. He told her, "Wait a minute, I have to talk to him." He came to me and asked me a question. "Do you have shower in your house?" I said, "Yes, I have a shower in the bathroom." He pushed his lower lip out and said, "We don't have." I said, "Don't worry, man, when you grow up you can put it." He smiled. "Why grow up? I got it now only." "But he told me there is no shower." "My father has not fixed shower. I fixed a shower. Shall show you, come." And he pulled me by my hand. And the lady went red in her face. Principal comes for the first time to the house and this fellow solemnly takes to the bathroom. I said, "Don't worry, let me see what is happening." I went to the bathroom and as he said, there was no shower. There was only a tap. Like a typical magician. You know what he did? He put his hand in the right side pant pocket, took out a balloon, small balloon, rubbed it, oof, he blew it, then fixed it to the tap. From the other pant pocket he took another thread, tied it nicely, tied the balloon to the tap. "Now watch carefully," he told me. Open the tap. Water started gushing into the balloon. Balloon became so big. I was about to say it burst, man. Before I could say, stopped it. Then he said, "Now see the fun." He put his hand in the shirt pocket, took out a sharp pin. Watch carefully. He went on making punctures onto the balloon. 10, 15, 20 punctures he made. The water started rushing out of those holes and balloon became flat. Again he opened the tap, kept it open half now. So water was coming into the balloon and water was going out also. It was going out like a shower. He smiled from ear to ear and told me, "See, I made a balloon shower." Balloon shower. I told his mother, "Your son is very brilliant, take care of him, he's a very intelligent boy." Came back home. But after 8 days, my friends, that experiment that child did became a message for my life. A real great message for my life. Are we also not like that balloon? When we are born, we are helpless like a balloon. Other than crying, I do not know anything. Helpless child. But as I grow older, I pick up from my mother, father, relatives, teachers, schools, colleges, university and society. I earn so much and my life becomes big. Is it not right? Life becomes big. Like the balloon, if I go on receiving continuously, what would happen? If I had kept the water on continuously without the perforations there, the balloon would have burst. Is it not right? Balloon would have burst. But now that he made about 20-25 holes there, water was coming into the balloon and water was going out also. That was the cause for the stability of the balloon. If the holes were not to be there, balloon would have ruptured. And those holes made the balloon stable. I thought it is true with my life also. I have 100 faces. I am husband to so and so, father to so and so, brother to so and so, officer to so and so, subordinate to so and so, friend to so and so. Don't you think I operate from 100 faces that we have? If all these 100 faces I start contributing to society in some way or the other, it makes my life stable. If I want to make my life stable, I have no option but to give. I have no option but to give. Giving is not an obligation. It is the only way to make your life stable. So therefore, if I want to make my life stable, I always wonder why Shabari became an important person in the Ramayana. What did she do? Shabari became an important character for us in Ramayana, stands as an ideal before us of total surrender. Just because she gave the fruits to Rama, she did not expect anything from Rama. Please remember, here is Rama is willing to give anything that she wanted. But she gave Rama the fruits. The act of giving made Shabari bigger than the person. So therefore, when in all through the history, whether Shibi Chakravarti or think of anybody else, they all became great because of the power to give. They are given so beautifully. I don't know whether I can use the projector. Is it possible? But don't worry about it. If it's not difficult, we'll not try. Oh, you have it already. Then go back. Go to the next one. I'm so happy that you are doing it. Go to the next slide. Oh, go to the next one. I go beyond Churchill. Yes. Let's stop it for a moment. I'm giving here. Giving is not a favor. It is the only way to live happily. I gave the example of it. Can you click on that hyperlink? There's a hyperlink there. The green colored one. Live happily after that. I don't know who is operating on that. Oh, no. The previous one, there's a hyperlink there. San Akshara Bardidiyallappa. A green ideyalla. Violet pakkadalli ideyalla munde. Giving is not a favor and bardidinalla. Adu munde. Yes, that's enough. I have drawn something today morning in the flight to do something like this. I wanted to tell you about this incident happened when I was in school. Just look at the pictures, they're not up to scale and all that. When I was learning in the school, my teacher, geography teacher, some people say geography is boring, but I loved it. He was telling me about oceans and seas. And he told me there's something called as a Dead Sea. Sea is dead. I suddenly stood up and asked him, sir, people die, plants die, animals die, but sea also dies, huh? He said, yes, this is the Dead Sea. Why, sir? He said, I don't know. I have not seen that, but people say it is dead. Nothing is there. That was a kind of a charge for me. When I went to do my research in Israel, I went to see the Dead Sea. I had drawn a picture there. The lower bottom is Dead Sea, and the sea is really dead. If some of you have seen it, you will experience it. 10, 15, 20 kilometers before you go to Dead Sea, it is haunting. You don't find a blade of grass. It looks like cement spread all over, white powder. No bird flies over. You go into the sea, there is not a single fish, no flora, no fauna, nothing at all. And even if you go into the sea, you can stretch yourself in water and read the newspaper. You will not sink. Because the density of water is 37% of salt is there. You will not sink. But what happens to your skin is different. But you can float on water. But I was surprised when I go up in the north side, there is another sea called a Sea of Galilee. I put a Sea of Galilee there. Sea of Galilee is where Jesus Christ carried out all his miracles on that. And that sea is full of flora, fauna, thousands of varieties of fish. It is simply beautiful. I was saying this sea is dead and the sea above is alive. Why? And particularly interesting was, one is dead, one is alive, and both the seas get water from the same river. That is the beauty of it. Actually, they are not seas at all. They are huge reservoirs. The Dead Sea is 822 square kilometers. Therefore, it is called as an ocean. That's a sea. Other one, Sea of Galilee, is also a reservoir. And both the reservoirs are taking water from the Jordan River. I have shown the diagram there. The Jordan River comes up, goes into the Sea of Galilee, and finally comes out and joins the main stream. Finally, it ends in Dead Sea. Dead Sea has got huge hills on all sides, therefore water cannot go anywhere. I saw that, suddenly it dawned on me as to why the Dead Sea is dead. Sea of Galilee is alive. Sea of Galilee takes water from Jordan and gives it back. Dead Sea only receives but does not give back. I learnt a lesson that anyone who takes from society and does not give back will become a Dead Sea. Swami Vivekananda mentioned, I call that man a traitor. What a lovely statement to say. I call that man a traitor, who having been educated at the expense of society does not pay heed to the society. I get so much from society to become my life that I have now, and if I don't give it back in measure, I am the most, traitor to the society. That's what I said. If I receive from society and give it back, I'll be stable, my life will be full. If I only receive and do not give back, my life will be a Dead Sea. Okay, thank you. Next slides. Yeah. This is most important to me today, I want to share with you. Moment I say, give to society, people think that we ask money. Today I'm not going to talk money. Though I am very much in the portals of a bank, I'm not going to talk about money. Giving is not just money. There are many people who can give much more than that. I've written that. Does not give money only. It could be a smile. I've seen this very pathetic situation some places. When you go for a walk in the morning, you meet so many people on the way, and our traditional thing is, Namaskara, Chanagidira? Is the normal question we ask. Tappa keliddu. Chanagidira? Kelu chanagidivi antare. In kelu adyen manufacturing defecto, ಏನು ನಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ರಿ, ಏನೋಪ್ಪ ಹಿಂಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳೋದು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾಕಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಾನೇನು ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರ ನಾಡಿ ಹಿಡಿದು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ, ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ. ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿಸ್, ಒನ್ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ನಾಟ್ ಗಿವ್? ಐ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, in fact yesterday I was talking to a medical university. I was addressing the convocation of a medical university. I was telling them, no patient wants to see a frowning doctor. You smile, half his disease is gone. Similarly, smile is a beautiful thing. When you meet somebody, smile, you feel happy. You are assuring them also. Smile, warm shake hand, or a kind of nice word. One nice word can you not give? One nice word. ಬಸವಣ್ಣ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನು ಬಂದಿರಿ, ಹದುಳವಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಮನೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೆಲ ಸೌದು ಹೋಗುತ್ತಾ, ನೆಲ ಕುಸಿದು ಹೋಗುತ್ತಾ? The question is, can't we not be kind, graceful in giving this, exchanging this? When you go to the bank, people come to the bank to receive help from you. I would request all of you, I know Karnataka Bank is very good, but still I would request you, when clients come to you, I say patients, clients come to you, they are under pressure, they are in a hurry to go, they get the work done and go. You are busy with your work. You are expected to be busy with your work. You are not an obligation, you are supposed to be busy. The bank will not keep you otherwise. And then when you are busy, oh my God, 4 more people. Don't make the face like that. Don't make the face like that. Because you are the visible face of the bank. I always say, one KEB lineman does something wrong, the whole KEB gets the blame. One bus driver drives badly, ayyo KSRTC bus se hinge. One fellow made a mistake. Similarly, one counter clerk in the bank does not behave properly. Bank prayojan ilri avaru. For me, the bank, Karnataka Bank or any bank, is not the headquarters. It is the branch and the clerk there. So therefore, remember, you are the visible face of the bank. You smile, the whole bank smiles. If you frown, the whole bank frowns. Therefore, I have got to be careful about how I respond to people. That is also an act of giving. I have seen people, when you go and smile, half the problems are sorted out. You may not do their work, but tell them this is the situation. Take a minute and explain. They will become your client for a lifetime. Therefore, giving is that. Next one, sir. This I can leave it, you can go further. Yeah. I want to tell something about science here. Don't think I'm talking something goody talk. Oh, giving is good, giving is good. Science also has proved that. Jordan Grafman, he is the chief of the cognitive neurosciences at the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke. It's called NINDS, which is a part of NIH, National Institute of Health. He's the director. He is an authority on scanning brain scanning. And every time we get happiness, when we become happy by receiving something, body produces a hormone called as oxytocin. Oxytocin is the hormone produced. He has done so much of work, especially MRI scanning he has done. Every time somebody gets a benefit or something, the formation of oxytocin is recorded. And he has found that the amount of oxytocin produced when you give something to society or give to people is 3 times more than the amount of oxytocin produced in the body when you receive some time. That's something extraordinary, isn't it? It is scientific discovery. He published in the paper. I put the proceedings of the National Academy also there. Date and issue also I put. It is mentioned very clearly that when you give something to society, the happiness hormone, as we call oxytocin, is 3 times more than the hormone you get when you get something of it. You really feel happy about it. The next one. Next one, sir. Yeah. This, I request you, pause a little more on this. Giving does not mean only in the office. It can start in your house. I'll give example of 2 houses. 2 neighboring houses. Early morning the father is getting ready to go to office. He is a harassed man. He is getting ready and suddenly says, "Oh, where is my pen? Where is my spectacle? I don't know where I kept my handkerchief." The daughter or the son would say, "Don't worry, Papa, I'll get everything for you, don't worry." They'll run around, arrange everything for him and give it to father, go to the gate and see him off, smile at him and say, "Papa, have a nice time." This is one house. In the neighboring house, the same situation. Father is in a hurry to go to the office. He's saying, "Where is my spectacle? Where is my pen?" And the son or the daughter sitting in the room shout, "Your spectacle, how do I know? I don't know where you keep and search where." Same relationship, huh? Father and children here, and same relation father and children there. Why is the difference in reaction? And I always say, this is like opening a bank account. I call this as emotional bank account. Moment you meet somebody, you open an account with them. Emotional bank account is opened. If you have done lots of deposits there, then you can withdraw. Now if you pick 1,000 rupees and give the check of 1,000 rupees, probably you will not honor it, because there's some minimum deposit is to be there. Am I right? Illo sir adu idya? So even if my 1,000 rupees is there, I can't draw 1,000 rupees. That means I have to keep something balanced there. Imagine I keep 1,000 rupees and give a check for 10,000 rupees. I get a notice that there's no balance. Check is bounced. Is it not right? Same thing happens in relationships also. I don't invest on my son, on my daughter, that love and affection, faith, trust, and I start demanding. Where is my pen? Is a withdrawal. Where is my handkerchief? Is a withdrawal. If there is a deposit, your withdrawal is honored. If there is no deposit, withdrawals are not accepted. Every relationship that I have with my family, my relatives, my friends, all people, if I am depositing continuously in terms of my faith and trust to them, I can withdraw at any time. Therefore, this is called emotional bank account. Whether spouse, children, friends, relatives, co-workers, everywhere else, we have account with all of them. Please ensure there are enough deposits there. Only when there are enough deposits, you can think of withdrawing at any time. Without deposits, nobody will allow you to withdraw. Today I am talking of gifts which are of special nature. The next slide, please. It's a different kind of gift I am talking today. I've taken a few aspects here. Next slide, please. Then go on clicking the first one. First one I want to give you is gift of time. As I told you earlier, I will not talk about money. Can't we not give a little time for our people? We have no time for anybody. W.B. Yeats, one of the famous writers of England, who in fact brought Rabindranath Tagore to limelight in English, he has written something beautiful in his biography. One day W.B. Yeats was sitting in his house at about 4 o'clock in the evening. Somebody knocked the door. In England, people don't walk in like that. Even the son wants to meet the father, he will take an appointment and then come. But he said, I have not given appointment to anybody. Who must be coming at this time? He went and opened the door. He found an elderly man standing there, looking visibly tired. He asked, can I come in, sir? He said, yes, please come in. He made him sit on the chair there. He doesn't know. AIDS does not know who is this man. Why has he come? He doesn't know. This man removed his spectacle, kept on the table, held his face in the palm of his hand, and started sobbing like a child, crying like a child. AIDS did not know why is he crying. He went behind him, kept his hand on the shoulders of this man and said, don't worry, sir, God will be with you. Don't worry, God will be with you. That's all he said. After 2-3 minutes crying, that man wiped his tears, put his spectacle on and said, thank you, Professor AIDS, I take leave of you. AIDS went up to the door and said, sir, you seem to be under some pressure. Can I do something to help you? See, you already helped me, sir. He told me God is with me. It's more than enough, sir. Actually, you do not know me, sir. I know you. You are a celebrity. I see you in the morning walks. I stay in the same lane in the last house, sir. I stay with my wife here. My only daughter is in New Zealand. My wife has gone to stay with her. And today morning I got the news. My wife telephoned to me that my only daughter met with a car accident and died today morning. I don't have flight till tomorrow morning, sir. I don't know with whom should I share. My wife is alone battling the situation there. I am here helpless. I can't help her anything. What do I do, sir? I am in a pressure cooker situation. I didn't know what to do. I suddenly remembered you and came to your house. You allowed me to share it with you. I feel little lighter now. Thank you, sir. He went away after some time. W.B. Yeats writes in his diary, don't think that when people come to you, they come to you for some help. Don't think that always people come to you for help. They are coming to you because they want a shoulder to cry on. Even if you become a shoulder to cry on, you are doing a great job. Somebody is in distress, go and pat on the back and say, don't worry, we are with you. That itself is a great support. That 1 minute time you can give is a great gift. The next one, I would like to talk about patience and understanding. You require little understanding. I am working in a bank, I am a teacher or whatever job I am doing, I am a pilot, I am a air hostess or an officer, IAS officer, I am a leader of people. I must have patience. That is the gift we can give it to people. I had a very funny experience I would like to share with you. I was in Johannesburg, South Africa. I had to travel to a place called George. I saw the weather report, it's going to be bad, it said. Afternoon it may be thunders and rain, very heavy rain. And you know, those of you have stayed in Africa and you know what thunderstorm is, you will understand. I thought better go earlier. I started off earlier and I was still 10 kilometers away from the airport, it started raining. You should see the rain there. It is torrential. I could not see anything beyond 10 feet. It was raining so heavily. Finally, I managed to get into the airport. Then the wind started blowing. Powers went off. Electricity poles fell down. Trees fell down. So many people came rushing into the airport. It was like a Kalasi-Palayam bus stand. No flight taking off and everybody there. There is one huge cafeteria. Everything got over. No water, nothing to eat. People had to sleep on the floor there. Whole night went on like that. Next day morning at about 10:30, the rain had stopped, wind had stopped, but the power was not restored. They decided we'll start taking the planes off so that we can reduce the burden on the aircraft in the airport. They said, people going to George, fall in line. We all stood in the line. You can visualize, no computer there. The girl had to write the boarding pass and give it to us. It takes time. There's a black girl sitting there in the counter, doing good job. And there was one person standing in front of me, 6 feet 4 inches, devil of a man. Maybe he could not get water to drink, he drank something else and the effect was there. He was swinging all over and he was shouting at that girl, you blackie, useless, good for nothing, why are you here? And the girl said, sir, why are you blaming, sir? I am doing my work, sir. What are you doing? You should be dismissed from the job. Non-stop he was shouting at her. And some of us went on to, why are you shouting, man? She is doing her job properly. He started pouncing on us. I said, leave it. He's like that. Till he went to the counter, he was continuously speaking ill about her. And finally you can visualize, as his turn came to the counter, tall fellow, kept his hand like this on the counter, looked at her down. You, idiot, what are you doing? Taking so much time for writing the boarding pass. She said, sir, I have to write and give you, sir. I'll do it, sir. Finally, when she wrote, he snatched it from her hand and said, idiot, I'll write to the officers to dismiss you, and went away. She had tears in her eyes. I was just behind him. What do I do now? I went and said, good morning. Probably I was the first one to say good morning. She wiped her tears and said, good morning, sir. I said, you are wonderful, I say. The way you are managing, hats off to you. You are extraordinary. The girl smiled. Wrote my boarding pass. It was the month of December. She pulled a drawer, took out a huge chocolate. Bonus for me. She gave along with the ticket a chocolate and said, Merry Christmas, sir. What do I do now? I took out my pen and gave it to her. Merry Christmas to you also. Gave it to her, and I took the boarding pass. As I was leaving the counter, I asked her, when you were shouting so much, did it hurt you so much? Did it really hurt you? She said, how can I not get hurt, sir? That using all kind of explicitives, I did not like it, sir. But then she came close to my ears and told me, but I have taken care, sir. Taken care of what? She told me, this fellow will go to George, but his luggage will go to Cape Town. In Africa, you know what it means to miss a bag. You can get another life back, but you will not get your bag back. This fellow will go to George. You will find both the bags are missing, and whatever he had consumed would evaporate. He will come back on the ground later. Was it needed? Little patience, little understanding would have been all right. Is it not right? The moment you start showing tantrums elsewhere, take it from me, it will come back on you boomerang. Moment you start throwing tantrums and try to show your authority and power are very, very short-lived. Very, very short-lived. Even the Prime Minister and President do not stay for a long time. Authority will not stay for a long time. The love and compassion that you show to people will remain much longer. In fact, many a times I ask, when I did training program for the principals of colleges and schools in Gujarat, I was in Rajkot, 50 CBSE school principals were with me. I should not ask stupid questions to principals, but I did ask. I told them, take a piece of paper and pencil. I'll give you 2 minutes time. Write down the names of all the Prime Ministers of India. I did not ask them to write the names of Presidents of America. There are 45, 46 now. I asked only Indian Prime Ministers. Can you believe? Out of 50, 39 could not write all the names. They missed a few names here and there. They felt bad also. Oh, sorry, sir, we forgot 2 names and 3 names. I said, why are you feeling sorry? They should feel sorry. Why are you feeling sad? They should feel sad. Even after becoming Prime Minister, is not guaranteed that people remember you. Those of you became Prime Minister because of your hard work and merit and contribution to the country, people will remember you. If you are there as a political mechanization, nobody will remember you. I did the same thing for presidents. What was surprising to me, across schools and colleges, nobody forgot Dr. Kalam. Some president was remembered, forgotten somebody, but nobody forgot Kalam. I always wondered why. He also was the president only, like many others who became presidents, and what is so special about Dr. Kalam? I have had the unique privilege of being with the great man for 15 long years, translating him every time he came to Karnataka into Kannada. I told him a number of times, sir, I am not a teacher in Kannada. I'll fix a Kannada teacher for you. He said, no, you understand me, I understand, you do it. I tell you, my heart goes out to that man. Being at the pinnacle of glory as the first citizen of India, he had not forgotten the scent of the Indian earth, Indian soil. He remembered everybody, like a child. He would go to child. Chandigarh, once we were going together. Night we had to come back to the airport. And when former president goes, there is a huge cavalcade. About 7, 10 cars go one behind the other. It is about 8 o'clock. And normally when VVIPs go, the traffic is cleared. But suddenly traffic stopped. And the black cats jumped out of the previous car and covered former president's car. And one started whistling, saying, go back, go back, go back. All cars had to go back. I was worried, what happened? I was in the 5th car, sitting on the left side. I bent down and see what is happening there. You know, I was touched. Kalam's car came back and he got down from the car. There is a small road leading to the main road, highway. At the junction corner, one girl is holding a garland and standing there. 7 or 8-year-old girl is standing there holding a garland. Kalam saw that. Poor girl is standing there. He brought the car back, got the garland, and gave his pen or whatever in his pocket, gave it to her and came back. Now you understand why people are remembered for not becoming the president, but behaving like a president, people's president. I am so proud of him. One girl standing at 8 o'clock in the dark corner, this man has the eyes to see that and feel for that heart. Another program, I was telling madam today morning, there was a cultural program they had arranged and Kalam had to fly. I was the president at that time, fly by helicopter. And helicopter could not fly because of the bad weather. He came late. And people said he has to go back at that time, therefore cut down the cultural program. All cultural programs are cut down. And there was a time given for lunch for 35 minutes. He asked me, did something got cut? Did something got cut? I just check up. And they told me that cultural program of children was cut out. Then he came back and told, look, 35 minutes is too much for time for lunch. We'll finish in 10 minutes. He stood there, only ate something. Come on, we'll go to that hall where children are there. Please remember, a small officer in small place would ignore this and go, I can't do, children can be there. But he is the president of India. He says, I can't disappoint the children. He went there, called all of them, went to each one of them, shook hands with them and said, I apologize, I'm in a hurry, I can't see all the program. Can you show me some acts? He pulled a chair and sat there, children performed, he patted the back of everyone, a special gift from the president to all of them. This the child will never forget. The child will never forget. This is the gift of a man. I would say, I was telling him, a small panchayat member, before he comes to office, 3 people come earlier. Boss is coming, boss is coming, boss is coming. And here the president of India, not bothered of somebody telling about him, he himself goes and talks to them. This act of kindness, that's what I'm saying, understanding people will go a long way. That will make you immortal. What made Rama great? What made Rama great? He hugged all these Vanar Sena, hugged him, loved them so much. Because of the love, not because he was the king of Ayodhya, but a greatest man who gave the unconditional love to his people. He will remember, that is the great thing. The next one, please. The other one is encouragement. I would request all of you in this auditorium and people who are listening to me elsewhere. All of us who are elders now, older by age, it is our duty to bring encouragement in everything that we do to the younger people. We have got to do it. We have got to do it. I am mentioning a name of a person called Dante Rossetti. Dante Rossetti was one of the finest painters of Italy in the Renaissance period. He was a demigod. People said he is an angel, one of the finest painter of all times. He became a celebrity. One day he had to get ready to go for another lecture elsewhere. His secretary came and told, sir, still you have 15 minutes time to go, sir. Would you care to meet somebody? Sir, no, I don't want to meet anybody. Sir, this man is coming to the office for the last 6 months continuously, sir. He wants to meet you for 5 minutes. Can you do that? Okay, tell him only 5 minutes. Send him. Dante Rossetti sat in the chair and a middle-aged man walked inside with 2 bags in his hand. He said, thank you, sir. Thank you for permitting me to meet you. Sir, I don't take too much time. From one bag, he took out 3 paintings and gave it to Dante Rossetti. Sir, can you give and look at it and give your opinion, sir? Nobody does that, you know. Great painter like this, going to Tendulkar and saying, how do I hit a square drive? You don't ask unless you are a specialist in that. But this man is asking, look at the painting and give an idea. He looked at the 3 paintings, very ordinary, very, very ordinary. Nothing great about it. He didn't want to insult him and said, okay, good work, continue. Then the man put the first pictures in the bag and took out the second bag. Took out 4 more paintings. Sir, have one look at it, sir. He looked at it unwillingly. Wonderful paintings. He sat down, put his spectacles on, took his pencil in his hand, started contemplating on that and said, fantastic. Extraordinary paintings. Whose paintings are they? The old man said, my paintings, sir. Okay, Your paintings, you are doing it now? He said, no, sir. And who was the first painting you showed me? First set you showed me? Who has done that? That is also mine only, sir. I didn't understand. Rossetti said, the second set I am showing you, sir, now, were the paintings I drew when I was a child, sir. The first one I showed are the paintings I am trying to draw now. Sir, I can't believe it. When you were a child, you were a fantastic artist. If you had continued, you would have been a great artist. Why did you not continue? And that man said, sir, the tragedy is, I could not meet a Dante Rossetti at that time, sir. If I had met a Dante Rossetti and had told me that you will be a great painter, I would have been like you, sir. Nobody encouraged me at that time. Please remember, our children are like that. Ramayana again talks beautifully about it. Somebody has to cross the ocean and go to Lanka. And people say, can jump and go. Everyone says, we can't jump ocean. I can jump 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet. Even Anjaneya says, I can't jump. I can't jump so much. Then Jambuvanta sitting there says, Anjaneya, you don't understand your ability. The sages had cursed you when you were a small child. You are a power, you're a powerhouse. You have so much power, you can conquer and cross many oceans like this. And explain to him how much energy Anjaneya had. And then Anjaneya grew in stage and then jumped across Sri Lanka, across Sri Lanka. The question is this. Anjaneya also did not know that he had so much power. It required a Jambuvanta to tell him. Today, all of us have to become Jambuvanta to our young children. Tell them, look, you are capable of doing it. Instead of saying, "Ayyo, what you do? You can't do anything." Not necessary. I may not be successful, but I can encourage others to be successful. This encouragement is very important today, my friends. All of us have to give this gift of encouragement to our children. I cannot do anything, but I can get the thing done by my younger people. The next one is show the interest in the work of people. Can you click the next one? Show interest in others' work. This is very crucial, my friends. Somebody is doing something good. There is a word in English literature. Ladies should not feel offense to what I'm saying. And there is a word, I'm told by my English teacher, if it's wrong, I think we should blame him, not me. There is a word in English literature. Normally words are not meant for a gender. They say this word inane cackling is referred to women. Inane cackling is a word. What is inane cackling? In villages, the houses are opposite one another. This lady is sitting in front of her house and cleaning the rice, and somebody is sitting on the other side and doing some other household work. She is excited to tell what happened in her house. She is excited to tell what happened in her house. She is not interested in knowing what she is doing, and she is not interested in knowing what she is doing, but they keep on talking for 2 hours. That means talking to each other without showing any interest in the other's work is called inane cackling. That is a terrible thing we can do. If somebody is doing some work, you may not understand that, but can't you not put a word of appreciation on that? In fact, in Sanskrit we say vachane ka daridrata. To say something good, why should it be so stingy, man? Good work, sir. Please do it. Nice. You can do it. I'll help you. When somebody says, I'm doing this work, at least show enthusiasm in what they are doing. Who knows, one word of appreciation can take you. I was in University of California at Berkeley, one of the topmost universities in the world today. I finished my talk and came out. I saw a lady sitting there. Face appeared familiar. She stood up and came to me and said, Namaskara, sir. And if somebody says Namaskara, sir, in America, you feel happy. She touched my feet and told me, sir, I was your student 30 years ago, sir. I said, 30 years ago? What's your name? She said, my name is Prema, sir. Prema is a common name. And normally, which batch? Teachers have this big problem. Whenever you meet an old student, you ask, which batch? Which batch does not mean 83, 84, 92, 93. It's not that. We have a knack of remembering the most mischievous and the most intelligent in the class. I am asking for a reference point. Who was with you? That's all. Then she said, sir, Suma. I got it. Prema and Suma were identical twins. They bothered me for 3 years endlessly. I could not make out who was Suma and who was Prema. Now she is Prema. I said, what are you doing here? Sir, I am teaching here, sir. Teaching here. What? Chemistry, sir. Oh my God. She held me by my hand and took me to the department of chemistry. I have not done research in that department. I have not done research and taught in that department. There are 50, 60 nationalities, professors are sitting there. She went and told them, I was telling you about my teacher because of whom I am here. He is my teacher. I felt like crying. Then she asked me very innocently, sir, you remember, sir, you were coming down the staircase. I was standing there. You asked me, why, Prema, looking dull? I said, sir, I can't understand the second law of thermodynamics, sir. Come. You took me to your chamber, explained with common day-to-day examples. I loved chemistry, sir. I did my MSc chemistry, then did my PhD from Purdue University. Now I am married to a person in San Francisco, so I am faculty in the Department of Chemistry here, sir. She told all that and then asked me, you remember that day, sir? I said, I don't. Because I go up and down the staircase 10 times a day, and every time I meet a student and every time I talk like this. But I told her, but I am grateful to you, Prema, for one thing. If the 10 minutes of thermodynamics I spent with you can bring you to University of California, I can spend my life for any student. Is it not right? I never knew that 10 minutes of talk could change her career. It could happen to you, my friends. You're traveling in the bus and one youngster is sitting next to you. Talk excitedly to them. It could be a turning point. I always tell the elders, when you're talking to youngsters, don't waste your time in gossiping. Tell them something meaningful, something touching. That word of showing interest about them and telling them could be magnificent. I tell you, that could be the turning point in the life. It happened to Dr. Kalam. He was studying in the school in Rameshwaram. The teacher was teaching how the bird flies, drawing pictures on the bird. After half an hour, the teacher asked, did you understand? Nobody seemed to understand. And teacher said, why I am teaching here? Come on the beach. School is on the beach only. They could see so many birds flying. Can you see the bird? It is pushing the wind backside with the wing and goes forward. Pushes the wind back and goes forward. Children understood, went back home. One fellow was standing there only. What is your problem, man? Teacher asked. Sir, I have a problem, sir. You told me the bird pushes the air back and goes forward. But in plane, sir, the wings do not flutter. Wings are like this only. It is not pushing the air back. But how is it flying, sir? There are people and luggage inside. The honest and good poor teacher said, I don't know. I have not seen an airport. But you should know about planes. And told, make an excellent plane and take it on moon. Make an excellent plane and take it on moon. That got etched on this boy's heart. He decided to know about planes. Planes became an obsession with him. He went to NASA, studied, missiles, and came back and wrote Made in India on every missile made, became a Bharat Ratna and became the president, Dr. Kalam. Kalam used to tell me at least about 10 times, the seed for my desire to become an aviation scientist was sown by my teacher on the beach of Rameshwaram. This is a magnificent power that we have. We should realize that. One word of interest in the students, excite them, support them, they can do a great job. Next one, sir. Unaddressed love. This is my fascinating word I use. Unaddressed love. Unaddressed. Addressed love is business. I love so and so because I get something out of it is a business. ಅಕಾರಣವಾಗಿ ಕೊಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕಾರಣವಾಗಿ ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೊಡೋದು. Can you click on that hyperlink? There's a video there. Hyperlink ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಪ ಮುಂದೆ, unaddressed love ಮುಂದೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆಯಪ್ಪ, ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ. ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಕೂಡ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಿ, ನನ್ನ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೆ ಅದು. I'll tell you an interesting incident happened which changed my life, my friends. It happened about 20 years ago. I wrote this story and put on the internet. I have received more than 28,000 mails from different parts of the world saying that this story has touched their lives. It happened in Chennai. My friend who was a manager in HP, Hewlett Packard, Saturday, Sunday are holidays for them. He was reading the newspaper relaxed way in the morning. His wife came. How long do you read the newspaper? Enough of it. See what your darling daughter is doing. This happens in every house. When the son or the daughter does something good, both father, mother proudly say, my son, my daughter. And they do something wrong, your son, your daughter. The moment she said, your darling daughter, he was worried. He kept the paper down and saw 6-year-old girl was crying. Why is she crying? He tried to understand. He got the message. The mother is forcing the child to eat curd rice. Mother sincerely believes curd rice is good for the child. Child does not like it. She doesn't want, mother is trying to feed her, and there was a tug of war, and the child was crying. Father kept the paper, went and sat next to the child, put his arms round the little child and said, Amma, for my sake eat 2 spoons. If you don't eat, your mother will scold me. Children are very smart. Don't underestimate them at all. They are very smart. And she looked and said, Papa, not only 2 spoons, I'll eat the entire bowl of rice. But will you give me what I want? They know how to put the hook at the right time. This man was trapped. And like a generous Karna, I said, I'll give you anything that you want. Don't worry. Child knows, only he talks. Key is with the mother. She looked at the mother and said, Amma, you should also promise. The mother said, first eat, then I'll give you. The child wiped the tears, ate the bowl of rice. The father could feel the agony. The child does not like rice. And she's eating because she wants something. I don't know what she wants. She finished eating, drank water, washed her hands and mouth, came running. Father was sitting on the sofa. Little girl, 5.5, 6, jumped on the lap of the father. And children can be so beautiful when they want something from you. You know, she put her little arms round the father's neck and then said, Papa, will you give me what you want, what I want? His heart sank. In a generous mode, he had given a blank check. Then he said, Amma, your father is not a rich man. Ask something cheaper, I'll give you. Appa is very cheap. Then ask. Ask anything, I'll give you. The child became conscious that everybody is watching her. Who was in the room? Father, mother, mother's mother. They were all watching what this girl would ask now. She tightened her hand around the father's neck and brought her mouth close to the father's ear and said, Papa, tomorrow is Sunday? Yes, Sunday. Don't worry, child, ask, I'll give you. Then she said, then will you take me to barber's place and get my head shaved? Take me to barber's place and get my head shaved? Immediately the mother and the grandmother jumped up 3 feet in the air and said, what nonsense is that? Girl shaving her head? Not allowed, not allowed. The father said, why do you want to shave your head? I don't tell you, but I want to shave my head. Why? Then father tried samadhana, beda, everything, said, Amma, you're such a beautiful girl, nice round face, big eyes, long hair, with a bald head, you don't look nice. Nice or otherwise, I want to shave my head. He said, sorry, I'll not do it. The child started crying. Then she said, Appa, last week you told me the story of Harishchandra. Told me the story of Harishchandra and told me, once you promise, you should stick to it. You have promised me just now, and what I've asked is not expensive. The father looked at the opposition party and then said, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. There must have been a Kurukshetra in the house. Next day morning, he took the child to the barber place and got her head shaved. Next day, Monday, the child was ready to go to school. You can visualize, 6-year-old, beautiful child, nice uniform, lovely backpack, water bottle on this side, tiffin carrier on this side, and shaven head. She was looking very funny. Father took her in the car and dropped her near the school. Child walked up to the gate and stood there. He could not see her standing in the open. Go inside, he told her. No, Papa, I'm waiting for my friend. Who is that friend? Let me also wait. He stood in the car. A minute later, another car came behind this. And when the car stood, one little boy got out of the car. Same age as this, similar uniform, similar backpack, similar water bottle, similar lunch box, and same shaven head. This man was surprised. So did the school change the uniform itself? You know, this big funny thing is happening. He was watching those two. At that time, the lady who was driving the car behind came out. She was crying. This fellow did not notice her at all. He was only watching those two children. She said, sir, are you the father of that girl? He said, yes. She said, sir, you are fortunate. She is not a daughter, sir. She is an angel. I don't know for how many births you prayed God to get an angel like her as your daughter. You are very fortunate, sir. He was not listening to her. Is that fellow your son? He asked her. Yeah, he's my son. Very funny, you know. On Sunday, yesterday, my daughter got her head shaved. And today I find your son also has shaved his head. What is so special about it? He said all that and looked at her intently. The lady was first of all crying. When he asked this question, she sat down on the floor and started sobbing like a child. He said, my God, did I hurt you? I'm sorry, I said something offending. She said, no, sir, you did not say anything. I could not control my emotions, sir. He is my only son, sir, only born. 3 years ago, he had fevers. I took him to the doctor. Doctor gave some medicine. I thought it's all right. But 8 months ago, when we took him to the hospital, doctor said he has blood cancer. He is on the final stages now. Nothing can be done about him. He will stay like a guest in your house. He can walk out any time. We started chemotherapy treatment. He lost his hair and the body has become like this. Every time we bring from the chemotherapy, we don't know whether he will survive that day. But your daughter comes to our house, sir. She encourages him. Come to school, you feel better. My son cries and says, I can't write down. Don't worry, I'll write for you. Last Friday, when we brought him from chemotherapy, we were very sure that he will not survive more than 24 hours or 48 hours. But your girl came and sat for 2 hours. Said, come to school, you feel better. My son started crying and saying, people make fun of me. I lost all my hair. People will make fun of me. You know what your daughter did? She put her little hand on the hand of my son and said, I will promise you. I'll promise you that nobody will laugh at you. Even if they laugh at me, it is okay, but I'll not allow them to laugh at you. Trusting her, my son has come to school for the first time today. As I was coming in the car and saw your daughter near the gate with the shaven head, I could instantly make out that this is the sacrifice that your daughter has made for the sake of my son. This man was so much overwhelmed, he held his face in the palm of his hand and cried, Amma, Sindhuja, her name is Sindhuja. Amma, Sindhuja, in this life you are born as my daughter. I pray God that in my next birth, don't be born as my daughter. Please be born as my mother and teach me how to love and care others without expecting anything from them. This is the beauty. Share your life with others. Life is so beautiful. Life is so beautiful. I don't say you should renounce and become a sannyasi. Enjoy your life. Earn your property, earn your wealth honestly. But when somebody sits next to you and has tears in his eyes, you should have the humanity to take out a handkerchief and wipe the tears at least. If you don't do that, we are not worthy of being called as human beings. Therefore, there is so much joy in sharing, giving it to it. The next one, give values to youngsters, my friends. I have a request to make. This is one contribution we must make before we disappear from this earth. I must make contribution. Values to students. We are talking of values today, so much values all over, and say values are falling down as if they are consumer price index. What is value? How do I pass on values to people? I'll do a small exercise. I'd request all of you to join me in doing that. I've done that before probably, but those who have not done it, you can do it. Can you all join me in doing a small exercise? It takes 30 seconds, not more than 30 seconds. Keep your right hand free. Please do only as I say. Please do only as I say. All of you raise your right hand. Fold your fingers into a fist. Slowly bring your hand forward. Stretch your forefinger. Only forefinger. And very quickly keep this on the left cheek. Please see where you kept your finger. I had told left cheek, and all of us know what is cheek and what is chin. I could see 3 reactions here. Quite a large number kept the finger here and did not bother. Somebody kept the finger and then oscillated. And somebody, smart people, kept the finger and slowly moved on to the left cheek. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Why it happened? I had told you clearly, please do only as I say. I never told you to do as I do. But most people did what I did rather than what I said. Please believe me, my friends, values are not taught. Values are demonstrated. Values are demonstrated. If you want your son to be honest, you better be honest. If you want your son to be ethical, your colleagues to be ethical, I must be ethical. If you want the whole structure to be ethical, I have to be ethical. There's no point in talking about it. Values are not taught. Values are demonstrated. I'll quickly time, because my time is up now. I have exactly 1 hour time and I'm finishing in 2 minutes time. Gift of culture. Please pass on the culture to your children. Culture is very crucial to us, as root of the tree is important for the tree. How stable is the tree? Depth of the root decides the strength of the tree. Deeper the roots, stronger is the tree. Similarly, anyone who negates the culture, does not understand the culture, cannot be a great person. It is like a tree in Bangalore streets. Small little wind, 10 trees fall down. No roots at all. So therefore, if you want our youngsters to be strong and our country to be strong, as one strong nation, I must build a culture of developing the culture of India. One day in my college, sir, Prabhakar sir is here, I should tell him. In my college, one girl as a midterm examination, Kannada lecturer came to me and said, "Sir, yen sir iವರು ಹುಡುಗರು ಯಾಕೇನಾಯ್ತ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದೆ. ಮಹಾಭಾರತ ಇದೆ, ಕುಮಾರವ್ಯಾಸ ಭಾರತ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಭೀಷ್ಮನ ಹೆಂಡತಿಯಾದ ದ್ರೌಪದಿಯು. ಆಕೆ ಮುಖ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಂಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಏನು ಸರ್ ಇದು, 2ನೇ BA ಹುಡುಗಿ ಇದು, ದ್ರೌಪದಿ ಯಾರು, ಭೀಷ್ಮ ಯಾರೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಅದು ಆಕೆನ್ ಬೈಬೇಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಆಕೆನ್ ಬೈಬೇಡ್ರಿ, ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ? 20 ವರ್ಷ ಬದುಕಿದಂಥ ಹುಡುಗಿಗೆ ದ್ರೌಪದಿ ಯಾರು ಭೀಷ್ಮ ಯಾರು ಕಲಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನು ಕಲಿಸ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ಆಕೆಗೆ? ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಮ್ಮ ತಪ್ಪು ನಮ್ದಲ್ವಾ? ತಪ್ಪು ನಮ್ದಿದೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟಾಟ್ ಹರ್. ಐ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಕುಮಾರವ್ಯಾಸ ವಾಚನ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯಾನ 13 ವರ್ಷ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು. ಐ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, ಈವನ್ ಟುಡೇ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಬೈಯೋದು ಬಹಳ ಸುಲಭ. ಯಾರು ಕಲಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಕಲಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಕಲಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಕಲಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Therefore, if I want culture to be developed by my children and my youngsters, I must demonstrate culture and give the committed service. I can't talk about it. I am emotional agbiduttene. A gift of committed service. How much service people have done? What did Vivekananda do? ಬದುಕಿದ 39 ವರ್ಷ ರೀ ದೈಹಿಕವಾಗಿ. 39 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದನ್ನು 4 ಜನ್ಮ ಓದಿದ್ರು ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ? ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಅದು. ಕಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ without caring for his health rate. There are so many people who have done like that. And the last word, give your children, youngsters, faith in God. Don't make it a God-free country. Terrible. People ask me, have you seen God? I can't answer like Ramakrishna Paramhamsa. I have not seen, but I have felt the presence of God. All of us have felt the presence of God. You may not see him. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಶೈಲೇಶ್ ಮೆಹತಾದ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ನನ್ನ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪ್ರಿಯವಾದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಐ ಕಾನ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ವಿದೌಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಶೈಲೇಶ್ ಮೆಹತಾ ಅಂತ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ಶುಡ್ ಗೋ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಫಾಲೋ ಇಟ್. ಡಸಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್. ಮೈ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಕನ್ನಡ. Dr. Shailesh Mehta is a very famous cardiologist in Gujarat. He has hospitals in Baroda, Ahmedabad and Rajkot. He was then, it happened on January 1st, 2009. I was there in Baroda. I was made to stay in a hotel. He came to see me at about 7 o'clock. There was some time for dinner yet. And that Shailesh Mehta came and sat next to me. He's a very revered man. People say he's God. If Dr. Mehta touches, patients will be all right. Kaiguna antival, hastaguna. He was very famous. He told me some incident happened, Dr. Karzagi, recently on December 3rd. What happened? A young couple came into his office with a little child, and the child's health was bad. So diagnosed to have a heart problem. Junior doctors had made all the study. He looked into the file and said, "Why did you delay so much? You could have come earlier." They started crying. "Sir, we are in a village, sir. Doctor said he will be all right. Now for last 6 months he is saying the child will be alive. Child will die. Go to Dr. Mehta. We have come here, sir." Mehta said, "I want to give you the correct picture. Situation is bad, very bad. There are only 2 options. One is child should undergo operation immediately. But even then, the survival chances are only 30%. 70% of the time the child will die on the operation table. If I don't do the surgery, the child will not survive more than 6 months. What are you going to do?" They cried again and said, "What to do, sir? Do the operation, sir. We have faith in God, sir. Child will survive." The child was admitted. 2 days she had to be there for tests and all that. The mother stayed with the child. Every day evening at 6 o'clock or so, she will do the puja with the God she believed in and put kumkum on the child's forehead and say, "Amma, don't worry, God will save you. God will save you." The mother was telling the child. The 3rd day the child was brought on the operation table. You can visualize it. Operation table where 6-year-old girl is sleeping with 5-6 nurses and 5-6 doctors around her. Finally Shailesh Mehta walked in with a sterilized gown, cap, mask and gloves. Saw the little girl. He felt bad. The child is alive now. What are the chances of survival? Only 30%. So therefore he said, I want to encourage the child. He patted and said, don't worry child, you'll be all right. The child looked up. She said, doctor, I'm not scared, sir. I have a question to ask. Question? What question? Sir, everybody is telling me in the hospital that I have to undergo open heart surgery, open heart surgery. Does it mean that you open my heart completely? He said, don't worry child, you will not see the pain at all. You will not notice the pain. We'll do the operation, don't worry. She said, I'm not worried about the pain, doctor. My question is different. What is the question? Every day my mother, when she does puja in the evening, she tells me, God resides in your heart. God resides in your heart, He will take care of you. Don't worry about it. Therefore, doctor, when you open my heart, kindly see whether you can see God there. And if you see Him, tell me how He looks like when I'm all right. Nobody had asked him a question like that. He said, okay. And the operation started. You may not believe, my friends, Dr. Shailesh Mehta is not an emotional man. He cuts 10 hearts every day. As he was narrating the story to me, he was crying like a child. He said, doctor, I was doing the operation for 45 minutes, not a drop of blood was coming in the heart. Heart was contracting. I didn't know what to do. We tried all possible things. Heart-lung machine was on, everything was in place. Finally, the pulse rate started coming down. It came almost to 0. Then I said, sorry, we can't save the child. Child is gone. He told the doctors, okay, disconnect everything, suture the body and give the body to the parents. Sorry, we could not save the child. Then he looked at his hands. Hands was completely bloody. Looking at the hand, something happened to him. Suddenly he felt, he heard the voice of the child saying, doctor, when you open my heart, can you see God there? He became so emotional, he joined in hand and said, God, I don't know whether you are there. The child believes that you are there. Child's parents believe that you are there. Whatever little knowledge and skills I have, I can't save this child. If you are there, you only save the child. That is the end of my journey. He folded his hand, his eyes were flooded. They told the nurse next, remove my glass, I can't see anything. She removed the glass, he wiped his eyes with the gown itself. At that time, the doctor standing next elbowed him. Doctor, blood is coming into the heart. He said, I don't believe in miracles. Some physical phenomena must have happened. Let me try. Put the heart-lung machine on. And 5 doctors worked for next 4.5 hours and did the complete operation. And Mehta tells me, operation is completely successful. Child is alive. Child is fine. And he told me, child is in the ward now, and told me, I have not gone to see her. I said, why did you not go? He said, what do I tell her? If I go to her, she will definitely ask me, did you see God? If I say there was no God, I am affecting her belief. Am I right? If I say I saw, I don't know how to explain. What do I do? I said, go to her, please tell her, child, don't make an effort to see God. God is to be experienced, not to be seen. I tell you, my friends, this doctor now what has done is, he has put a picture of God in the operation theatre now. Before doing operation, he goes and says, God, whatever skills and knowledge I have, I'll try my best. Please take me as an instrument of yours and save lives. Does operation. If a 60-year-old man had the presence of God, he felt the presence of God, it is because of the child. Child got it because of the parents. Is it not right? It is our job to tell our youngsters, our people, believe in God. I don't know how many hands and legs my God has, but I believe there is a power beyond all of us. It is good to believe that there is a power on all of us, because it does not allow arrogance to come into you. Moment you get arrogance, you feel you are on top of the world. Believe that there is somebody beyond you. It does not allow arrogance to come in. And secondly, most important, when you are on your knees, you are in difficulty, that feeling that God is there will support you and resurrect you from your challenges. Therefore, we shall give all that, and the last slide we can click and close. Yes, let us start once again this joyous journey of giving and sharing, and discover a lovely angel within us. He is camouflaged and concealed. We bring him out, and that will become angels to us. Life is so beautiful, my friends. When people say life is bad, world is bad, don't believe them. World is very good. 85% of the people in the world are extremely good. But 15% people make so much noise that 85% is not heard. Don't listen to the 15%, listen to the 85%. My soul will be enriched. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your very enlightening, stimulating, and thought-provoking Founders Day lecture. I assure you that the words will remain fresh in our minds and hearts for many years to come. And this is one lecture from a teacher this class will not forget. Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure all of you as well will echo my heart's feeling that we could not have found a better person than Dr. Gururaj Karjagi to be the chief guest for Founders Day lecture this year. We at Karnataka Bank are extremely fortunate to have a seasoned banker as our chairman. Shri P. Jayarama Bhatt is a repertoire of banking knowledge and business acumen. And we at Karnataka Bank immensely benefit from it. We are glad he is with us to preside over today's function. May I now request our beloved chairman to share his sentiments on the occasion.
Most respected and distinguished chief guest of today's function, Dr. Gururaj Karjagi, my fellow directors on the board, MD and CEO of the bank, Sri Mahabaleshwar, former directors, fellow bankers, our distinguished invitees, customers, shareholders, my colleagues and ex-colleagues, members from print and media, a very good evening to all of you. To talk after Dr. Gururaj Karjagi, I think it's a very difficult to talk after his wonderful speech. We are really fortunate to have Dr. Karjagi today in this joyous moment. I am glad that our well-wishers, stakeholders in large number have joined virtually to witness today's event, and your wholehearted participation made it very memorable. In spite of your busy schedules, you had made it convenient to be with us. We have great luminaries today. They took their time to be with us and to share our joy of the day. It is said, happiness shared is happiness multiplied. Thanks to you all. I was going through one of the interviews of Dr. Karjagi where he mentioned that life is not a suffering, it is a celebration. What a great statement he did. Life is not a suffering, it is a celebration. On his managing his busy schedule, his answer was, if you enjoy what you do, you will not get tired. That's exactly Dr. Karjagi. When we see him, we don't see that he is tired because he is enjoying what he is doing. Today he enthralled us with his energetic speech, holding our full attention throughout. Dr. Karjagi, a spiritual scientist, is most sought after motivational speaker who can speak with authority on any subject. He is a living example to prove that with conviction and hard work, one can be successful in one's life, come what may. Dr. Karjagi is an educationalist par excellence. He is an encyclopedia of knowledge with brilliant oratorical skills and natural instinct to teach, which makes him to be loved by not only the student and teacher community, but also a large section of the society across the globe. He is a teacher in true sense. His prolific writing, columns and talk shows are much sought after in the electronic and social media. Sir, your today's speech was simply thought-provoking and educative, clearly articulating the subject in a very convincing and lucid manner that everything lies in the joy of giving. We are always eager to receive something from others and rarely think of how we can help others. All the miseries that are undergone by the mankind are mainly because of not understanding the concept of joy of giving. Sir, you have thrown light on this secret of happiness. You have rightly put it that joy of giving cannot be put into words, but only can be felt. Studies proved that the pleasure that one gets in giving brightens up one's mood and makes him relieved of stress. Today, I was watching Mahabaleshwar. While he was giving his speech, he was explaining how the Karnataka Bank has given a project for the society. That 1 crore project for the society, when we gave, the joy in his speech, I can realize. He was repeatedly telling that we have donated for the society 1 crore for the construction of the divider from KPT circle to the Mahavir circle, and that joy of giving is something else. What we give, what we get, that is Karnataka Bank gets, out of that some portion is given to the society. That itself is a joy for us. And that we have been doing all these years. And as he said, this is one of the biggest projects he was announcing, and he was enjoying that internally. And really, your talk on this is apt for today. Ben Carlson has also said that happiness doesn't result from what we get, but from what we give. Let us all inculcate the same and experience the wonderful feel of sharing and caring and joy of giving to enable future generation to continue this tradition. Sir, the ideas which you have given, the joy of giving, those all points, I also jotted down. Gift of time, patience and understanding, encouragement, interest in others' work, unaddressed love, this is very important, unaddressed love, gift of value to your youngsters, introduce your culture, gift of committed service, and finally, the great example, faith in God. That is very important. We have that. Everybody has got the faith in God, because whenever Sankata Bandaga Venkatramana, whenever we find with some difficulties, then only we remember God. That should not be. We should remember God every time. Whenever we do some work, we have to remember Him. That is the beauty of life. That is faith in God. So friends, we are much honored to have Dr. Karjagi amidst us, and for having shared your thoughts, sir, and the subject which you chose was wonderful, and it gave us all better things to, for our future life. Let us give Dr. Karjagi one more big round of applause. Friends, we all experienced the adverse impact of the outbreak of this pandemic, COVID-19, and subsequent lockdown, socio-economic standstill affecting the mankind and economy. MD has already summed it up and highlighted our bank's impressive growth story in spite of COVID-19 pandemic in detail. We have done well. Bank has done well in last 9 months period. As the severity of the pandemic is receding now and economy is returning to its normalcy gradually, we expect a good business opportunity in the coming days so that we can further create value to our stakeholders. Let us hope that everything will be back on track very soon. I am glad that as on date, the bank has touched a business turnover of around 1,27,000 crores In spite of adversities, bank has fared well in the first 3 quarters and hope to continue the growth further. Our low-cost deposits have crossed the level of 30%. Our bank has timely implemented appropriate actions to combat the COVID-19 impact and is all set to achieve more and more milestones in the coming days. It is said, nothing is permanent in this world except change. In this background of our mission of being technology-savvy bank and to emerge as bank of the future, 3 years back, our board has decided to have transformation exercise in our bank. This is done to bring best-in-class capabilities in all aspects like human resource, IT infrastructure, sales and sanctioning, etc., so as to reconfigure the bank to address the expectations of the newer customers segment, particularly the millennials and digital natives, and to encash exponential growth of opportunities. Now, upon completion of 3 years of our transformation journey, the bank is taking forward these initiatives internally with same zeal and focus. During these 3 years, bank has achieved many milestones like setting up of DigiBranch, Digital Center of Excellence, training and sales culture, scientific way of performance assessment, HRM, onboarding of fintech companies, exclusive sales force, building strong risk management systems, institutionalizing change through organization and people, etc. MD and CEO Mahabaleshwar MS has taken pains in implementation of our aspirational transformation journey, KBL Vikas. He has successfully overcome all initial impediments, particularly associated with adaptability. He deserves a huge appreciation for his commitment, strong and wise leadership during this significant and holistic transformation exercise. I heartily congratulate him for accomplishing this Herculean task. Bank is marching forward to celebrate the centenary year in 2023-24. Something that hasn't changed in all these 97 years of our bank's journey is its core value and vision of our founding fathers. That is exactly what Dr. Karjagi has told. We should not forget our core values, and we are doing it. We are committed to continue this tradition going forward also, sir. As per your advice, we will continue to do the same thing, even if it is 200 years also. To sum up, we bow our head with reverence to our founding fathers as we reflect on the commitment, resilience, and dedication they played to convert their vision to reality. We assure all our stakeholders that we will do everything that is required in the course of our journey to scale greater heights and glory in the years to come. We on this occasion rededicate ourselves to achieve more to create value for all concerned. I am grateful to our valued customers, shareholders, investors, and well-wishers for their continued support and patronage. Thank you one and all for the patient hearing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Our hearts are bursting with pride and overflowing with gratitude. I think this feeling can be best summarized in the words of Dalai Lama, who says, "The roots of all goodness in life lie in the soil of appreciation and gratitude." While we are reminiscing Dr. Gururaj Karjagi's inspiring address, here comes our Chief Business Officer, Shri Gokuldas Pai, to express words of gratitude.
distinguished guest of the day, Dr. Gururaj Karjagi sir, esteemed Chairman of the Bank, Sri P. Jairam Bhatt, beloved Managing Director and CEO of the Bank, Sri M.S. Mahabaleshwara, respected members of the Board of Directors of the Bank, all the distinguished invitees, well-wishers of Karnataka Bank, my dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. This is truly a historical moment for each one of us at Karnataka Bank. 97 years ago, our founders had but one vision: to create a bank which is distinctive and committed to the common man. And that's exactly what we have become: a distinctive and high-tech bank offering state-of-art banking products to suit the requirements of all the classes of customers. Today, Karnataka Bank is known as a bank with modern look embedded with traditional values, a first-generation bank with new generation technologies keeping in mind the next generation, a customer-centric yet tech-savvy bank. On this momentous occasion of 97 years of purposeful existence, as we march confidently towards our centenary year, I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose vote of thanks. I bow my head in reverence to our founders, whom we are seeing physically through their photographs here, virtually amongst the stars above, and emotionally in our mind and heart. Dear founders, you are the true cause and purpose of today's celebration. On this occasion, I also remember the Dean of our bank, late Shri K. Suryanan Adiga, who has carried the baton of our bank for nearly 45 years out of the last 97 years. We seek your blessings from above and our pranams to all of you. I would like to express my profound gratitude to Dr. Gururaj Karjagi for your gracious presence and delivering the Founders Day lecture. Sir, Karnataka Bank is honored to have you with us on this very special occasion. We are extremely impressed by your simplicity and humility, the clarity, the depth, the strength and truth in your words. Sir, you spoke on joy of giving. We could see joy of everything in you at every moment, at every time, in every word you spoke, sir. It is most touching to our heart. You brought out the child in us, and your words have enlightened us. Today's Founders Day lecture will remain green in our mind for many more years to come. Sir, you have taken Karnataka Bank Founders Day lecture and celebration to a new high. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation, delivering Founders Day lecture, joy of giving, and sparing your invaluable quality time to be with us today. Thank you very much, sir. My heartfelt thanks to our esteemed chairman, Sri P. Jairam Bhatt, for presiding over today's function. As you all know, Sri P. Jairam Bhatt has effortlessly steered the bank as Managing Director and CEO, during which period the bank witnessed several heights. Sir, you being born on the Children's Day, you have taken all the stakeholders together with your very kind heart, and you are really magnanimous, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your gracious presence. Our beloved Managing Director and CEO, Sri M.S. Mahabaleshwara, who has taken over the reins of the bank in the year 2017, is a committed commander-in-chief, visionary leader, man of hard work, and an extraordinary orator with exemplary skill in communication. Under his dynamic leadership and vision, the bank has been making rapid strides and crossing several milestones and has also won several prestigious excellence awards. Sir, we assure you that we are with you in realizing your dream of making our bank future ready with all digital enablements, that is, digital bank of the future. Thank you very much, sir, for your guidance and gracious presence. Our board of directors have been providing excellent corporate governance and effectively strategizing the activities of the bank. My deep respect and thanks to each one of them for sharing their evening with us both physically and virtually. A special thank you to the spouses and family members of our board members who have taken time out to witness this Founders Day celebration. I thank Srimati Shubha Jairam Bhatt, Srimati Annapurna Mahabaleshwar, Srimati Uma Devi Krishna Bhatt for their gracious presence. I want to place on record the presence of number of dignitaries for this event and thank them for the same. To name a few of them, we have Sri Kalladka Prabhakar Bhatt, Sri Harikrishna Punururu, Captain Ganesh Karnik, Sri M.B. Puranik, Sri Krishna Kishore Kumar Kodgi, Sri K.C. Nayak, Sri Prabhakar Kalkuraji, Dr. Raghuveer Adiga, Sri Nagaraj Shetty, Sri M.E. Balasubramaniam, CGM from Union Bank of India, and our own MLA, Mr. Vedavyas Kamath. I also thank Sri Murli Mohan Bhatt, our auditor, Sri M.V. Shankar Bhatt, our legal advisor, and our business partners and associates for their presence either physically or virtually. I am grateful to the General Secretaries, Presidents, and Office Bearers of Karnataka Bank Officers Organization, All India Karnataka Bank Employees Association for their active involvement, wholehearted support, and gracious presence. My heartfelt thanks to all our well-wishers who have sent us messages of goodwill for this Founders Day celebration. A special and heartfelt thanks to all those of you who have joined us virtually for this program and contributed to its success. Your virtual presence means so much for us. A big thank you to all our shareholders, customers, well-wishers, and all the stakeholders for your presence and support. My sincere thanks to the print and electronic media for their presence and covering today's event. In fact, Namma Kudla and Namma TV are telecasting this program live, and All India Radio is broadcasting it live too. My heartfelt gratitude to Ms. N. Shashikumar, Police Commissioner, and his entire team for their presence and the support for this program. I thank the Dakshina Kannada District Administration, Mangaluru Municipal Corporation for their presence and support. Ladies and gentlemen, an event like this requires a lot of planning and coordination. We have a very efficient and sincere team working behind the scene, leaving no stone unturned to see it that today's event turned out to be a happening one. A big thank you to the organizing team and volunteers without whom this day would not have been possible. My special thanks to all my executive colleagues and all the members of Karnataka Bank family for making this event a grand success. Finally, a big thank you to all who have helped us directly, indirectly, physically, and or virtually for the success of this 97th Founders Day celebration of our dear bank, the Karnataka Bank. Thank you one and all.
Dear colleagues and ladies and gentlemen, all good things must come to an end. And as I already see that all of you have gotten up, until next time, this is Elroy Monish signing off. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and have a nice evening. Thank you.